Luvafoodie iced tea for clean drinking iced tea flavors. Lemon lovers, passion fruit lovers, raspberry lovers, and blood orange lovers iced tea. Eat clean, be well, and stay well with our clean eating spice blends at Luvafoodie.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Luvafoodie LinkedIn Live. I'm your host, Michelle Mazzara, and today is September 19th. I have a very special tipsy guest today. I have Sara Hayden she's actually not tipsy, I'm kidding.
I'm not tipsy.
Tipsy Pies. Sometimes I'd like to be tipsy at this time, but
Right.
we're not. Sara Hayden from Tipsy Pies. And Sara, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Can you hear me, Sara?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So I met Sara a few years ago with our Women Who Really Cook group in the Twin Cities, and Sara is a fabulous baker. She's going to share her story, how she got started, and it goes back to, I believe, your mother.
Yeah. My
So
mom
tell
made
us,
pie crust for everybody.
so Sarah, tell us about what you grew up with. Did your mom make pies just for the holidays, or how did you learn to bake?
Pie was kind of an everyday thing in our house. My mom, she would buy lots of apples and she would make 25 pies by hand. And then she'd freeze them raw, frozen. And then house for dinner, whatever, she'd just pull out a pie and bake it. And, she was kind of the person that it didn't matter what time it was. If you showed up for dinner, she would have plenty of food. And then she'd always have a dessert. And it was never stressful. It was just a joy that she had. And it was just quite amazing.
Did you help her bake?
I did. Yeah. Yep. I would get to roll the pie crust out, and the scraps always were made into the cinnamon sugar. So I would get to do that. That actually is one of our top selling items in my bakery now is the pie crust pieces. We don't really have scraps, but we make scraps so people can still enjoy that.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, but I still think there's just nothing better than your house that smells like apple pie, and when the ice cream melts a little bit on that warm pie, it's so good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Sara, how did you decide to come out? Tell us a little bit when you started your company and what made you tell us about how you started Tipsy Pies. And for everyone who's watching who doesn't know what Tipsy Pies are, why don't you tell us?
All right. So Tipsy Pies are essentially a hand pie made with my mom's pie crust recipe. And then we use local alcohol, wine, whiskey, or beer. They are under 2% by law, so they are family friendly. But it was just a way for us to support other local companies while we were growing our own. So my original company is called Rustic Pies of Stillwater, and I made large pies that were my mom's recipes. And then I had gone to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and it was just really about you can be a good company, but what makes you great and what makes you stand out, and that's niching yourself. And so it was kind of, back in 2012, 13 when craft breweries were coming into kind of play, and Liftbridge was our local brewery. So I just cold called them and said, I'm a new baker and I just want to put some beer in my pie and see what happens. And I thought, well, they're going to think I'm crazy, but they called me back. And within days, I was at the brewery at 8 a.m. as a stay-at-home mom drinking beer with these guys. And it was, I just remember, this is so naughty, but it was so fun. And that's really what changed Rustic Pies into Tipsy Pies was Liftbridge. So we have continued a amazing relationship with those guys, and I'm grateful always to them.
Yes. So you've been around for what, 8 years? 12? How many years then?
We started in 2012.
Okay. And Tipsy Pies are started with sweet, and then you moved into savory.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us the flavors that you make?
So in the bakery, you can get an onion gouda, a brown ale onion gouda, and that features Liftbridge. We have a brew pub Reuben, which is Uda Pills. We have chicken Kiev, which is wine. We have macaroni and cheese with bacon, which is Finnegan's, and then the onion gouda. And we have 2 breakfast pies as well, which are super popular here at the bakery. I kind of always knew that savory would be the place to go because it's not guilty like when you eat a sweet pie. Minnesotans always have that guilt around a dessert. But when you have a savory pie, you have some meat or a vegetable in it. So it's less guilty. So you're more likely to buy that one. And they're just really a nice meal. They're good for a lunch or put a salad with it for dinner. Fun for appetizers, for, catering for the holidays too, just to buy a bunch of different ones and cut them up. So there's just lots. So it's just a really versatile product.
Yeah, they're excellent. I told my mom you were going to be on my show. She's like, "Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love her pies."
I love your mom.
Yeah, your pies are really, really good. Both the savory. I think because I'm more of a savory person, I really like the savory ones. But the
Yeah.
blueberry one, is that the
Boozy
Tipsy
blueberry
Blueberry?
lemon.
Yeah, that one is probably my favorite sweet one.
Probably our top
So
seller.
that's your top seller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sarah was also been at the Minnesota State Fair. And Sarah, when did you start doing the fair?
I got it in 2015, and we just had our third move. So for third and final move, I'm never moving again. I'm gonna die as an old lady in that spot. I hope. I hope. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's a nice corner space, and it just was a beautiful build out, and it was a good move. So I'm thankful and grateful for the state fair for sure.
Yeah. Was that hard to get into?
Typically, it is really hard for people to get into. There's usually a 5-year wait. And for me, I never thought I would get in, and I just applied on a whim. It's kind of like my business in general. Like I just think something and I try it, and it either works or it doesn't. And lo and behold, I got in. And when Dennis called me, he kept saying, "Do you not want to come to the state fair?" And I kept saying, "Who is this? Who?" I thought it was a prank because I knew that people didn't get in. And so we got in 6 weeks after applying, and we had to make 15,000 pies in 6 weeks, build out we had the smallest space at the state fair. And we sold, I think, 14 or 15,000 pies our very first year. So it was pretty amazing. Yeah, it was, who knew? But it was a higher end transportable food. And that was kind of the trend that year. And every year we've just been really lucky with the products that we've put out, and they've been really well received. And our new Minty Magic got 3.5 stars out of 4 from the Star and Tribune this year. So Minty Magic is like a grasshopper pie, like my mom used to make. So
Love grasshopper pies.
Yeah, I
So
know. I used to, yeah.
Yeah, is it a cold one that you would have with the whipped
pie.
cream?
Yep.
Oh, delicious.
Yep. My mom and dad used to have card parties, and after playing cards, they would have after dinner drinks. And so it's just something that, pie is nostalgic, and those memories that we create growing up and pass on and have that tradition correlate nicely with pie. So you're going to see more alcohol pies from me. That's what you
good.
Too.
Oh, good. So do you want to share what's coming new?
Not yet. It's a secret.
Okay. So, Sarah, let's talk a little bit about your family, because family is really important to you. You've got 5 beautiful children. You're married. Let's talk a little bit about Maddie and Pies with a Purpose, because this is really important for everybody out there. Sarah gives back to the community, and as an entrepreneur, this is one of the reasons I wanted to have Sarah on, because I think it's so important when you have a mission or a cause that you're really important about or passionate about, which you are, and it relates to your daughter, Maddie.
Yep. So Maddie is 19, and she is a busy girl, man. I don't know how I keep up with her, because she has got plans, and she's got big plans all the time. But we felt that it was really important when I started the company that whether we had money or not, that we had to give back in some form. So we created Pies with a Purpose, and Finnegan's had donated the beer, and then we would give part of our proceeds back to the Down Syndrome Association. And then as we grew, we got to add different other organizations like Jack's Baskets, and they promote welcoming all, like children who are born with Down syndrome, but they don't just focus on the fact that they have Down syndrome, that they focus on the fact that they're a child and that we should be grateful always. So I love Jack's Basket of Minnesota, and Valley Friendship Club. So before I had a company, I started with 2 other moms, Valley Friendship Club in Stillwater. And we put on activities for kids with and without disabilities up to the age of 21. But we don't turn away anybody, of course. But we do social activities for kids. A lot of times when you have a child with Down syndrome or a disability, they don't have the same social connections as other kids do. And example, birthday parties. Maddie wasn't invited to a lot of parties growing up. And so we always wanted to create social activities for them. And now that she's, not a little kid and she is an adult, she's been working for me and having, kind of gaining job skills, through the company that I started. And then last year we did have another person with a disability in the transition program work for us a couple days a week. So, everybody should find their passion with or without a disability, right? And
Yep.
Maddie's passion is people and singing. And she, kind of a funny story, she actually called her case manager and canceled her services because she's a paid actress and she doesn't need a job coach anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
Anybody who knows who lives in our world with social services, we don't want to cancel services ever. And so,
Right.
Maddie's very self-sufficient, very for sure.
Yeah,
But
she
anyways,
is. Yeah. So that's really special. So it's very, and it's Finnegan's right now is that pie is the only one that the proceeds go to, correct?
We've kind of opened it up. There's a lot of other companies that give me discounts too on alcohol. So as a company at the end of the year, we, pay off all our bills and whatever is left, we give percentages too. Unfortunately, the last 3 years have been kind of rough with COVID. We haven't been as profitable as we'd like, but then that's why we, do other things, such as have people come in and work for us. We always, try to donate product and help with the events and stuff like that. So at least we feel like we're still supporting that mission. But I have to say it's been really tough lately to be able to give as much as I'd love to give. If I could bake for free, I would, because that's, I think you and I were talking about entrepreneurs aren't driven by money. We're driven by the deed and that kind of that core thing of why we started it and what's our joy and our passion, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
And cooking, just like baking and eating baked goods my grandma was a fantastic baker. I never learned to bake. I'm more in the culinary savory area, but I love eating bakery goods. And I remember my first job other than babysitting was at a bakery. It was
fun.
And I had to taste everything in the bakery, like all the pastries, all the dough. I think I gained probably 20 pounds like that year, but I love
hazard. It's an
Yeah.
occupational hazard a little bit.
And when I see your post, so not only does Sara make pies, everybody in the Twin Cities, Sara bakes. You were into donuts.
Yeah.
You're into cookies. You're into sweet rolls, cake. So when I come to your location in Stillwater, what offerings, and then we'll get into retail, but what offerings are available every day in your actual store?
Well, we try to keep it interesting. And, with COVID too, we really had to learn how to think outside the box. So we bake really towards the emotional person. So we do nostalgic bakery items. So we did this, like last week we did pumpkin themes. So we did spice cakes and we did pumpkin scones and, try to kind of theme out our weeks because it keeps people interested. You don't get the same thing always here. So people really need to watch the social media threads because that's where we're kind of showing you what we're going to make. Because we kind of don't always know. We just kind of feel what moves us, and that's what we bake. So then it's always fresh, too.
Right. And Sara, you bake every day, right?
We're closed on Mondays, but we leave our door open because people always come. And then they can buy frozen pies out of our case. But Tuesday through Sunday, we always have fresh items, pastries, pies, cake, cookies, savory items as well. We have on Sundays and Saturdays and Sundays, we have fresh breakfast pies and croissants that are savory. So we bake those at 8 a.m. and then replenish till about 11, and then we go to just straight sweet pies.
And so for those of us that live in the Twin Cities, what are your hours in case somebody is watching and they want to? What time do you open and what time do you close?
9 a.m. typically, and then we're closed by 3:30. Sundays, I think we're closed at 3.
Perfect.
But we work a lot, so if we're here working, the door's open.
Right.
People are welcome.
Right. And those of us that like to go grocery shopping, what stores? And I already know the answers, everybody. But what stores are you in the Twin Cities?
So we're in over 100 locations. We're in Cub, Lunds and Byerly's, Kowalski's, Jerry's, Hy-Vee, County Market, Festival Foods, some co-ops here in Stillwater, Bryan's, and the Stillwater Co-op River Market downtown. And we're always growing. There's lots of little stores, and sometimes as makers, we don't even know where our pies are anymore because it's up to the distributor and where they put them. So I love when I get messages that my pies are in little stores up in Waseca or up in Brainerd and Duluth. So sometimes I don't even know.
Right, right. And so everybody out there that's watching and listening that is a grocery distributor or a grocery account. Sara does have a distributor. Sara, who is your distributor?
We're with Market Distributing, which was recently bought up by Lipari. And yeah.
And you've got some of your flavors in the distributor. Which flavors are those?
So we have our Razzie Apple Raspberry, Carousing Caramel Apple, Irish Pecan. Oh my gosh, what's the other one? Irish Pecan. Oh yeah, and then we have Onion Gouda as well, I believe. So
Okay.
you'll see a mixture of pies, and not all stores carry the same pies. So
Right. Do you happen to have, Sara, a package of that near you that you can show everybody? I forgot to ask you because your packaging is really quite pretty, and it's quite. Do you have one near? Maybe you could show it.
I can just go grab it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's Sara's packaging is very bright, and it really pops when you see it in the frozen case. So I wanted to have her show it to everybody.
Okay, here's a couple of them.
Yeah.
So,
yes, how bright and colorful those are. And Sara, you did not skimp on your packaging, let me tell you. Yeah, great graphics.
Thank you. We worked with Red Lime. They were amazing to work with. And they're a local women-owned company. So they did a great job.
Right. So if people want to get in touch with you, they can contact Market Distributor and they can get the price list from them and potentially order. So, well, actually, it's going to be Lipari or Lipari. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but which is good because they have warehouses or distribution outside of the Midwest. I think they're based out east.
Yeah. I was just on vacation out in New York, and I kept seeing all the Lipari trucks, and I'm like, well, that's so exciting. You know?
Yes, and I think they just bought Market in June. So from talking to other people that are affiliated with them, they're still going through the transition. And so if you're a customer out there, if you're a grocery account and you want to get in touch with Sara, contact Lipari, contact your rep, and they will be able to let you know what the timing would be to get her pies. But Sara, what about if I want to order online? Can I order from your website?
Yep, you can come to the website at sarastipsypies.com, and there's an ordering page. We currently are looking for any sort of help with shipping. We turn away a lot of business because I can't ship them. They melt. So that has kind of been a little detour, and I just can't figure it out. I tried dry ice. I've tried different boxes and different packaging, but they're not very dense. And so, you have to ship overnight, and it's super expensive. So I just ethically have a hard time charging somebody over $100 for 4 pies, so I'm just kind of trying to be patient, and usually answers come to us at some point when they're supposed to, but this one I'm just stumped on, and I do turn away a lot of people.
Have you tried, Sara, and I don't know, but what about your little pies on a stick? Would they ship better?
Pies on a stick?
Yeah. No,
they're even smaller than a normal hand pie.
Yeah. Okay. But I was just thinking maybe you could put more dry ice or something around those, and but yeah, shipping is expensive. So with Market, they've got refrigerated trucks.
Yeah. So everything's delivered that way.
Yeah.
But we have a cafe here, so you can come in. I mean, we sell a lot of frozen pies. We have savory and sweet and breakfast. We move a lot of those, and Stillwater is a destination location, so it's fun just to come here and spend the day. And we have a beautiful patio, and you can call us ahead of time and we'll just bake them for you. You know, so
And
whenever you're
let's talk
ready.
about catering because in weddings,
Mhm.
because you do. Let's tell us a little bit about what if I'm having a wedding or I'm having a Thanksgiving and I don't want to buy my pies at a grocery store.
Yeah, just call me. We have an ordering. We'll put up our fall menu pretty soon, and then Thanksgiving in November starts November 1, and we'll have a whole new lineup this year for large pies, along with we'll do like specialty 8 packs for. So if you want to just get a different, you know, like 8 different flavors or whatever, then you can cut them in half and share them. So that's kind of a fun way to go. But we do everything. Like I say, everything's done here on in our production facility and baked fresh, and pickup is always the day before the holiday. So just the way you should eat pie.
Absolutely. And do you see quite a seasonality between now and the end of the year with Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yeah, you know, it's fall, so people want this the traditional apple pie. They want drunken pumpkin, which is made by Liftbridge with a Commander beer, which is so good, and then
Mm.
Irish pecan. And then we have a Krausen caramel Cosmo crayon, which is apples, cranberries soaked in a vodka liqueur with some
Mm.
orange zest. So that's super fun. You know, that's very holiday. And then in
Yeah.
December, you know, we kind of switch to we make lefse and we make krumkaka with rum chata in it. So we have
Oh,
super good. That's my favorite. I think last year we did over 500 rounds of lefse by hand. So
wow.
my sister and I did that together because that was my mom's other big thing that she did. And then we do cookie platters and stuff like that because Christmas is more tarts and cookies versus straight pie.
Right.
So, you know, we just try to find fun things that are, you know, attract people, and you know, it's all visual too.
Right. So here's a great idea. What about for all of you that are watching and listening that have employees and you want to give your employees a gift this year or any year for the holidays or a thank you? This would be a great gift to give your employees, either an assortment box or a pie. I mean, people love to eat, and what
We
better to get a homemade treat? Do you, Sarah, do a lot of like company orders?
Yeah, we love corporate catering because there is just nothing better for our egos to walk into a corporation with warm pie because they think you're just like this rock star. Like you're just the, the best thing in the world to bring workers warm pies, you know. So yeah, corporate catering, especially for a pie day, we probably do more business than Thanksgiving. So
Oh,
there are a
sure.
lot of pie nerds out there. So we love pie day in March.
Yep. And so for everyone watching and listening, now that your employees are getting back to the office and the
Mhm.
morale is kind of still, it's a challenge. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a challenge at the grocery stores right now. There's not enough help. There's not enough workers. Sales are down. Sales are flat. Inflation. Pick your employees up. Go get a pie from Sarah's Tipsy Pies, or go get a cookie assortment or something to
yeah.
just brighten people's day, because it doesn't have to be super expensive to make somebody smile. And I think food is the way to go.
Right, I agree. We have cute
Yeah.
little boxes too, so we can like make pie towers with ribbons, and we just love
Yep.
that. You know,
Yep. And
little
and
things
and I know
matter.
you do little fun things around Valentine's
Yep.
too. So, Sarah's very creative. If you have an idea, whether it's a wedding or a company plan, a company meeting, a company party, she can come up with it. If you give her an idea, she can run with it.
Yeah, we love it.
Um, yeah, I
We love
know
our
that.
weddings. We did 4 weddings this weekend, and
Oh,
everyone looks
wow.
different. Yeah, and you know, we'll set it up for you, or we'll take the direction of how you'd like it to look. But they're all different. You know, it's just always so fun to see when my girls set things up. They send me pictures right away, and then I usually post them on Facebook. But this weekend was beautiful.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's what's so cool now today about weddings. People are not just doing cakes. In fact, I think
Mm-mm.
more people are not doing cake. They're doing, whatever they like. And you do donuts, you do cupcakes. I mean, cupcakes are really big for weddings.
Yeah, yeah.
Donuts, you'll do whatever the customer wants, basically, if it's a baked good.
Within reason, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
try to make people happy, but yeah.
you do. Is there anything else, Sarah, that you'd like to share with our listeners, our viewers, things that maybe you're looking for that would help your company? Um,
Well, we're always looking for, other ideas and efficiencies. It, to be honest, business is the toughest it's ever been. And I'm a little bit lost sometimes because the cost of everything has gone up so much. At what point, like I want to feel good about what I'm charging people for my pie, because people are going to choose between gas or a piece of pie. That's super hard for all of us because as it is an emotional thing. But different like food chains or supply chains, is there something else I could be doing that could make things more efficient or bring the cost down a little bit? Because it is a tough world out there, and people need to have some pie, but we have to be able to afford things and feel good about what we're doing and charging.
Right.
So we do fork everything by hand, so we have always looked for a better way of doing that. So if anybody has ideas on how to make this pie faster, that would be great. I'm always open for suggestion.
Yeah. And Sarah is very well thought of in the Twin Cities. Sarah, how can people get in touch with you?
Just go on our website and you'll see our email. It's sarah@tipsypies.com. There's always a phone number. It's attached to me, so you can call me.
Yep. And like Sarah said, this is a really hard time for all entrepreneurs, especially small one woman entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, which Sarah is. Even though she's got a lot of people working for her, her family, her friends, it's still your show, and it is difficult. So we want you to succeed. We want you to stay at retail. We want you to continue to grow your base in your business. But we know that any help of any sort. Obviously, if there's any investors out there that would like to invest in
Right.
call her, because it is a time where you can't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
And that's the thing I've learned. I'm a very proud person, but then at some point you have to say, I can't do it anymore by myself.
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And we want to stay in business, all of us do, but it's going to take a little bit more than what we have.
Yeah. I'd like to go back to 2018. It was much easier then.
Yeah.
Like this is
Life
much
is
harder
so,
than even COVID. I think it's
I
way
know,
harder than COVID.
I know. And these are what we're living in, and with inflation are all results of COVID.
Yeah.
And, I just wonder, okay, so, what's 2023 going to look like? Are prices really going to come down? Is your manufacturer going to go, oh, Sarah, guess what? Boxes went down. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. I don't think so.
Hmm.
I just got another message from one of our people that we buy from, and that they're doing more price increases. And I'm like,
I
oh,
know.
that's
I
tough.
know. I got another price increase last week from my co-packer, and I put up a big steak.
Oh, it's
um,
terrible.
yeah, it's terrible. So, those of you that are out there, it does make a difference to buy from the small person. Like I said, if you are in the Twin Cities and you want a pastry item or a pie, give Sarah the business. I mean, not that the large companies wouldn't like your business too, but it really makes a difference when you're an entrepreneur. So I'm just going to shout that out again.
Thank you.
Sarah, what's your address in Stillwater?
823, 823 4th Street South. So we're not downtown Stillwater. We're kind of on the hill by the old courthouse. So we have a nice little parking lot. It's easy in and out. We have a beautiful little patio. A couple more weeks maybe that we can use that. Hopefully we'll have a late fall and we can stay out there for a while because we do love it. We don't have indoor seating.
Okay.
When
And
COVID
this,
hit, I got rid of all my tables and just brought in other local people. So beyond having just Tipsy Pies, we do have lots of local vendors: Gustola Granola, John Morley's Maple Syrup, Grandma's Gourmet, Kathy's Bakery, Scratch Bakery items as well. So,
and you have Willow's Coffee,
and Willow's Coffee, of course. Yeah, she's our main girl for
right?
coffees.
So this weekend is supposed to be nice. This week it's fall. Go grab. Stillwater's like Sarah said, it's a destination stop, especially now with the leaves changing. There's nothing better than taking a trip down to the St. Croix and downtown Stillwater and seeing the beautiful foliage, and grab a cup of coffee and a piece of pie, and that's a pretty nice afternoon or
Right.
after dinner
Best day
drive.
ever. Right.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, thank you for being a guest on my show today. I wish you the best of luck, continued success. I think you will get through this difficult time. Hopefully, the show will help you. And just have faith, like you always do have. And you've got a great family. You've got your, like you said, your husband is your biggest fan, probably.
Yeah,
And
pretty great.
yeah,
He's pretty
yeah.
great.
So
He
we
just
wish you
threw
the
me
best.
thank you so much. I appreciate you.
What did you say? He just threw
Oh,
you?
I was gonna say, I just turned 50 yesterday, and he threw me a
Oh,
big birthday party on Saturday, all by himself. So he had a
oh,
little help with
happy
some of
birthday.
my friends, but he did a good job.
Oh, nice, nice. What? Happy birthday. You don't look 50. And
Thank you.
so that means even more special things should be happening for Sarah. So
Thank you.
everybody join me next Monday. I'm going to have Mike Reagan. He's a barbecue chef on our show, and he's going to probably have some fun stories to tell you too. So happy week. Have a great week, everybody, and stay well and eat clean. Thank you.
Thank you.